Picture this. It's the middle of July, temperatures are pushing past 100 degrees, and your neighbor is out there every single morning, dragging a hose to their cucumber patch, watching their plants wilt anyway, and complaining about how everything tastes bitter. Meanwhile, you are standing in your garden with a basket, casually picking crisp, sweet, foot-long fruits from a vine that you honestly forgot to water last week. This is not some gardening fantasy. This is the reality of growing what many experienced gardeners call the unkillable vine. A plant that produces cucumber-like fruits all summer long, thrives when temperatures hit 110 degrees, and keeps pumping out food while everything else in your garden is struggling to survive. Today, we are going to explore this remarkable plant, understand why it outperforms regular cucumbers in almost every way, and discover a few other incredible vines that can transform your summer garden into a low-maintenance food factory. Let's get straight to the reveal. The plant I am talking about is the Armenian cucumber, and here is the first surprise. It is not actually a cucumber at all. Despite looking exactly like a long, ribbed cucumber and tasting remarkably similar, the Armenian cucumber is technically a variety of musk melon. Its scientific name is Cucumis melo variety flexuosus, placing it in the same species as honeydew and cantaloupe, rather than with true cucumbers. This botanical quirk is exactly what makes it so special. Armenian cucumbers were first cultivated in Armenia during the 15th century, and they have been a staple in Middle Eastern and Mediterranean cuisines for over 600 years. Generation after generation of gardeners and farmers in some of the hottest, driest regions on Earth have relied on this plant because it delivers what regular cucumbers simply cannot: consistent production through brutal summer heat without turning bitter or demanding constant attention. So why exactly is this plant so resilient? Let's talk about the science behind its unkillable reputation. Regular cucumbers are notoriously finicky. When they do not receive consistent moisture, they become stressed, and stressed cucumber plants produce bitter fruits loaded with cucurbitacins, the compounds that make you pucker and reach for a glass of water. This is why so many home gardeners give up on cucumbers entirely, or resign themselves to watering twice a day during heat waves. Armenian cucumbers operate differently. Because they evolved from melon stock adapted to hot, arid climates, they maintain their quality even with irregular watering. They keep flowering and producing through the hottest months when regular cucumber plants have long since given up. I want to share a personal experience that really drove this point home for me. Last summer, I left for a 10-day vacation right in the middle of August. Before I left, I looked at my Armenian cucumber vines and thought, well, that's probably the end of those. No drip irrigation, no neighbor coming over to water, just 10 days of triple-digit heat with no supplemental moisture at all. When I came back, I fully expected to find withered vines and shriveled fruits. Instead, I found perfect foot-long fruits hanging from the trellis, ready for harvest, as if nothing had happened. The plant hadn't just survived, it had thrived. This experience is why agricultural researchers in places like Arizona are studying Armenian cucumbers as a model crop for water conservation. In a world where water is becoming increasingly precious, plants that can produce abundant food with minimal irrigation aren't just convenient, they're essential. Let's do a head-to-head comparison so you can really understand the difference between Armenian cucumbers and their traditional counterparts. When it comes to heat tolerance, regular cucumbers start wilting and struggling when temperatures climb into the 90s degrees Fahrenheit. Their flowers drop, production slows, and the fruits that do develop often suffer from poor pollination and misshapen growth. Armenian cucumbers, on the other hand, keep flowering and producing all summer long, even when the thermometer reads well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The bitterness factor is equally dramatic. Regular cucumbers turn bitter when they experience any kind of stress, whether from heat, inconsistent watering, or nutrient deficiencies. Armenian cucumbers stay sweet even when water-stressed, making them far more forgiving for gardeners who cannot maintain a perfect watering schedule. The watering requirements tell the real story. Regular cucumbers typically need daily watering during peak summer, sometimes even twice daily in extremely hot climates. Armenian cucumbers need water only about once per week during the hottest months, and even that schedule can be flexible. Size is another notable difference. Regular cucumbers typically grow 6 to 8 inches before they are ready for harvest. Armenian cucumbers can exceed 30 inches in length, though most gardeners agree they taste best when harvested at 12 to 15 inches. And here is a practical benefit that might seem small but makes a real difference in the kitchen. Regular cucumbers often have tough, waxy skin that needs peeling before eating. Armenian cucumbers have a pale, ribbed skin that is tender enough to eat without any peeling at all. That means less prep work and no waste. Growing Armenian cucumbers is straightforward, but there are a few key points to get right. Plant them after your last frost date when soil temperatures are consistently above 65 degrees Fahrenheit. For the best germination rates, you want soil temperatures between 80 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is actually warmer than many gardeners realize. This is one of the few crops you can successfully plant well into summer when many other vegetables would be past their prime planting window. The vines are vigorous growers, so you will want to provide sturdy trellises for them to climb, or you can simply let them sprawl across the ground if you have the space. Growing them vertically has advantages though. The fruits hang straight and develop more uniformly, and you save valuable garden real estate. For the best flavor and texture, harvest your Armenian cucumbers when they are 12 to 18 inches long. They will keep growing if you leave them, but larger fruits can become seedy and lose some of their crispness. When it comes to varieties, you have some excellent options to choose from. Painted Serpent is a beautiful choice that offers attractive striped fruits, making it as ornamental as it is productive. Yard Long lives up to its name, producing exceptionally long fruits that are perfect for slicing into rounds for salads or sandwiches. Dark Green provides a more traditional cucumber appearance with that characteristic dark green color, while still delivering the superior heat tolerance you are looking for. Each variety has its merits, so do not be afraid to experiment and find your favorite. Beyond their ease of cultivation, Armenian cucumbers offer genuine nutritional benefits. With over 95% water content, they provide a serious hydration boost during the hottest months of summer. They are a good source of vitamin C and K, which support immune function and healthy bones respectively. They also contain magnesium, which is essential for proper muscle and nerve function. When you are harvesting these fresh from your own garden and eating them fresh, you are getting maximum nutrition along with that satisfying crunch. In the kitchen, Armenian cucumbers are incredibly versatile despite being genetically a melon. They have that classic cucumber flavor that works perfectly in salads, and they pickle beautifully. I have canned countless jars of pickle slices using Armenian cucumbers with great results. There is a subtle sweetness and melon-like freshness to them that adds an extra dimension of flavor. They are fantastic for raw snacking straight from the garden, or you can add them to any dish where you want a juicy, refreshing crunch. One of my favorite simple preparations is to slice them into spears and dust them with tajin seasoning. That combination of lime, chili, and salt brings out something special in the natural sweetness of the Armenian cucumber. Now, while the Armenian cucumber might be the star of today's show, I want to share a few other unkillable summer vines that deserve a place in your garden. First up is Malabar spinach, botanically known as Bacella alba. This remarkable plant actually flourishes when temperatures climb above 90 degrees, which is exactly when other leafy greens bolt and turn bitter. It is heat-loving, drought-tolerant, and grows happily in sandy soil with very few nutrients. The succulent stems provide resistance to short-term drought once the plant is established. Nutritionally, Malabar spinach is rich in vitamins A and C, iron, and calcium. If you have ever struggled to grow salad greens through summer, this is your answer. Next, consider the loofah or loofah gourd. Yes, this is the same plant that produces those natural sponges you have seen in kitchens and bathrooms, but here is what many people do not realize. Loofah gourds are completely edible when harvested young. Pick them under 7 inches long and they have a mild zucchini-like flavor that is wonderful in stir-fries. Once established, loofah vines grow 4 to 6 feet and are moderately drought-tolerant through summer. Let some fruits mature on the vine, and you have natural sponges for your home. This dual-purpose nature, providing both delicious food and useful household products from the same plant, makes loofah incredibly practical. Finally, let's talk about chayote squash. This is a true perennial that comes back year after year once established, and it just gets better with age. The best yields happen after the plant is 2 to 3 years old. Here is the remarkable part. After the first month of watering while it establishes its root system, chayote requires no supplemental water for years. It sends deep roots that find moisture other plants cannot access. The vines grow 20 to 30 feet in a single season, and a single mature plant can produce 50 to 100 squash per year. That is an enormous amount of food from essentially zero ongoing effort. So let's bring this all together. While everyone else in your neighborhood is out there babysitting their wilting cucumber plants, spending their mornings hauling hoses and worrying about bitter harvests, you could be picking pounds of fresh produce with almost zero effort. The Armenian cucumber requires a fraction of the water and attention that regular cucumbers demand. It produces through conditions that would kill most garden vegetables, and it rewards your neglect with sweet, crisp fruits that taste every bit as good as anything you would find at a farmer's market. This is the future of gardening in an increasingly hot and water-conscious world. Plants like the Armenian cucumber are not just convenient, they are smart choices that align with the realities of our changing climate. Whether you are gardening in Arizona, Texas, or anywhere that summer brings punishing heat, these unkillable vines offer a path to abundant harvests without the constant struggle. Add Malabar spinach for your leafy greens, loofah for variety and practical household use, and chayote for a perennial squash supply, and you have a summer garden that practically takes care of itself. The best part? Getting started is as simple as ordering some seeds and putting them in the ground. You do not need special equipment, expensive soil amendments, or complicated irrigation systems. Just good garden soil, plenty of sunshine, and occasional water. These plants have been feeding people in harsh climates for centuries with far fewer resources than modern gardeners have available. They are proven performers that have stood the test of time. Think about what your garden could look like next summer. Instead of stressed plants demanding constant attention, you could have vigorous vines loaded with produce, thriving through heat waves that would devastate conventional crops. You could leave for vacation without worrying about coming home to a disaster. You could actually enjoy your garden instead of being enslaved by it. Next summer, while everyone else is complaining about their cucumber failures, you will be the one with more produce than you know what to do with. And when the neighbors ask your secret, you can just smile and tell them about the unkillable vine that feeds you all summer long.